What if the man you insulted was the one who owned everything? Kunle believed power meant control. Inside his restaurant, his word was law. Employees moved quickly when he spoke, and even quicker when he was angry. And he was angry often. Workers whispered about him in the kitchen. They warned new staff members quietly, "Don't make mistakes around Kunle," because in Kunle's restaurants, mistakes don't just mean correction. They meant humiliation. A waiter who forgot an order could be shouted at in front of customers. A cleaner who missed a small spot on the floor could be threatened with losing their job. Kunle believed fear made people efficient, and for a while, it seemed like he was right. The restaurant was busy, tables were always full, money flowed in. Customers saw a confident manager who ran a tight operation. But the workers knew something different. They knew that behind the polished counter and bright lights, their manager enjoyed making people feel small. Then one afternoon, during the busiest lunch hour of the week, the restaurant's door opened quietly. Most people didn't notice, but a few customers near the entrance looked up. An elderly man stepped inside. His clothes were worn and faded. His sandals were dusty from the road. It didn't look like someone who belonged inside a successful restaurant. He walked slowly towards the counter. No one greeted him. No one offered him a menu. Finally, the old man spoke. His voice was calm and polite. "Please, may I have a glass of water?" It was a simple request. A small request. The kind of request that costs almost nothing to fulfill. But Kunle looked at the man and laughed. A loud, mocking laugh that turned heads across the room. He looked at the old man the way someone might look at trash that had blown in through the door. "A glass of water?" Kunle said. "This isn't a charity house." Some customers shifted uncomfortably in their seats. But Kunle had already decided the moment would entertain him. He grabbed the cup. He filled it with water. Then he walked towards the old man slowly, smiling. For a moment, it looked like he might actually end it over. But instead, Kunle tilted the cup and poured the entire glass of water onto the restaurant floor. The water splashed across the tiles, spreading in a wide puddle. Then Kunle tossed the empty cup onto the counter. "If you're thirsty," he said, pointing to the floor, "mop it up." A few people in the restaurant gasped quietly. Others looked away. The old man stood still for a moment, staring at the puddle of water. No anger across his face, no arguments left in his mouth. Instead, he simply nodded once. He walked to the corner of the restaurant where the cleaning tools were kept. He picked up a mop. Slowly and carefully, he began to clean the water from the floor. He worked with surprising precision. Each movement was calm and deliberate. Within moments, the tiles were spotless again, cleaner than they had been before. The restaurant watched in silence. Something about the scene felt strange, uncomfortable, like everyone had just witnessed something they weren't supposed to see. Only one person moved. A young waitress named Tola stepped forward quietly. She opened a small lunch container and held it out to the man. "It's not much," she said, "but you can have this." The old man looked at her and smiled warmly. Before he could respond, Kunle clapped his hands loudly. "Oh no," he said. "We are not turning this place into a homeless shelter." Then he pulled out his phone. "If he won't leave," Kunle said, "dial in a number. The police can remove him." The restaurant grew tense again. The old man didn't move. He simply stood there calmly, waiting. Then 10 minutes later, a police car stopped outside the restaurant. 2 officers stepped through the door. Kunle immediately pointed towards the old man. "There he is," he said. "This man is disturbing customers. Please remove him." The officers looked at the elderly man. Then something unexpected happened. Both officers straightened their posture instantly. Their expressions changed. and without hesitation, they saluted him. The entire restaurant froze. Kunle blinked in confusion. "What are you doing?" he asked. One of the officers turned towards him slowly. "You may want to watch how you speak," the officer said, "because this man," he gestured respectfully toward the old visitor, "is Chief Adeyemi." The name moved through the restaurant like electricity. Chief Adeyemi was not a beggar. He was the billionaire founder of the entire restaurant franchise. The man who had built hundreds of locations across the country. The man whose company owned this very building. Chief Adeyemi looked around the restaurant calmly. Then his eyes returned to Kunle. "I like to visit my restaurants sometimes," he said quietly, "to see how people treat others when they think no one important is watching." Kunle's confident smile disappeared instantly. His face turned pale, because in that moment, he realized the truth. Everything he believed he controlled was never really his. Chief Adeyemi turned towards the waitress. "Tola," he said kindly, "you showed compassion when it mattered." Then he looked back at Kunle. "As for you," his voice remained calm, "today is your last day here." The room was silent again, because power had shifted in a single moment. Kunle walked into the restaurant that morning believing he ruled it, but by the afternoon, he walked out unemployed. And the waitress who offered kindness to a stranger was given a promotion and a future. Because real power is not shown by how you treat the powerful. Real power is revealed in the quiet moments, when you believe no one important is watching. And sometimes the person you think is nothing is the one who owns everything.